Hey guys, and welcome. We're going a bit old school today. We have a Total War Warhammer 2 action, and it is a clan special. It is ODM versus ODM. We have Tretch in charge of the High Elves, a classy man for sure, bringing my favourite High Elf Lord up against Alfredino and his Empire Legions with a quite awesome build, actually. A bucket ton of cav, including triple Demigryph Knights. Without further ado, let's delve into this. We have 4 units of Shadow Warriors in a nice vanguarded position. This seems to be a staple amongst most ODM players, actually, going for the kind of skirmish build with the High Elves, particularly with Shadow Warriors. In the secondary battle line, we have a load of Rangers dotted through, and then triple Dragon Princes, so going relatively bad to the bone. Unfortunately, no Regiment Renown today, but the Regiment Renown do fire damage, and there's a few Finns on the roster that maybe you don't want to bring that for. And speaking of which, they actually have a really juicy 70% fire resistance. Bear that in mind, because that'll be important a little bit later. We do have Alaphanar, and surely with a spellcaster, we do a Metal Caster hiding behind a rock, coming in with Searing Doom and Plague of Rust. For the forces of Alfredino and his mighty Empire Legions march into war to get rid of the usurper High Elves, we have a load of swordsmen. So swordsmen through the main battle line, nothing too crazy there, no Regiment Renown sadly, but then it gets really exciting. So we have Demigryph Knights rolling dirty alongside Empire Knights, rolling like alongside a legendary warrior riding one of these Demigryphs into battle, surely emboldens the heart, and hopefully the Empire Knights will be doing a bit better than they usually do. They're more of a shot blocker than a damage dealer. So 3 Demigryphs, looks like we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the Empire Knights. We have Volkmar the Grim, of course, like by far the most often picked Empire Lord, very competitive in general, but he has a big weakness here, and you may have guessed it, it is flaming attacks, meaning he's going to be relatively useless up against those Dragon Princes. We also have a Jade Wizard coming in with Earthblood as well as the Dwellers Below. I remember back in the glory days where Dwellers Below was considered really bad and a bit of a meme, and people have eventually realised its kind of power and how good it is at getting rid of enemy cavalry in particular. Definitely want to see that pop down on those Dragon Princes if at all possible. Looks like there's a little bit of repositioning going on by the Empire player, just getting himself organised. Alaphanar is going to be loosening a few shots. We also have a cheeky little decoy Alaphanar just kind of pulling his pants down, waving his butt in the air, trying to annoy the Empire player as much as possible. Now the cavalry is bounding backwards and forwards, trying to dodge shots of incoming Shadow Warriors. Unfortunately, the Jade Wizard gets absolutely slapped, made into a pincushion, and to pop an early Earthblood on himself. Certainly not one he wants to use his magic for, but it's better to keep him alive now and, bring him in the late game. Particularly if Alaphanar's about, he can certainly do some good sniping on the enemy caster. Looks like for now he's been focused down at Demigryphs. Not a bad idea whatsoever, killing 5 Demigryph models. That's certainly quite nice. Now, the decoy is attempting to stop the enemy cavalry, and they just absolutely ignore him before he goes down under the sight and gaze of Volkmar the Grim. Many have crumbled under Volkmar's gaze. It looks like the decoy did just that. We have a Plague of Rust upgraded, go down on the Empire Knights. They're going to be now focus fire down. A lovely bit of play here. Beautiful combo coming in by ODM's very own Tretch. The Shadow Warriors doing some lovely damage. Those Empire Knights are barely going to make it to the front line. Dragon Princes are bounding all over the field, looking to countercharge Empire Knights where possible. Lancers lowered, lads, as they just clatter together in a storm of lances and blades. And it looks like Demigryphs will be following through with an Earthblood as well. So what was a dangerous situation for Empire seems to have been rectified and turned out rather well. Demigryphs are dueling Dragon Princes in the back here, but we get a big fat Dwellers Below coming in. That's going to do some pretty damn massive damage. It's going to fend off the Rangers and hopefully allow the Demigryphs to take on the Princes one-on-one, but they themselves have taken significant casualties from that Dwellers. My god, that is some gnarly stuff. They do counterpunch though, Searing Doom taking it down on some of the swordsmen. Big buffs coming in from Volkmar in the middle. The Shadow Warriors are all alive though. Beautiful micro here to keep these bad boys active despite the huge amount of cavalry pressure. Load of abilities coming down as Volkmar rains terror down upon the Dragon Princes. With as long as he stays near his Demigryphs, he's going to be relatively decent and solid here. So good start so far, I would say, by the I'd say Empire player, but the Shadow Warriors alive is really quite scary. And they are focusing down the Empire Knights, who once again have been caught out by a Plague of Rust and now been focused down. Looks like Volkmar tried saving the situation with a banishment, scattering the Shadow Warriors to the wings, and now we have Demigryphs and Empire Knights lining up to charge down upon the enemy. There's not that many places for them to run. It looks like Volkmar is going after Alphanar. He's going to get pinned in place, so there's 20 Dragon Princes here, which doesn't seem like a lot, but they're going to be almost immune to the pressure of Volkmar the Grim. He doesn't have the best melee stats in general anyway, only 30 melee attack. They're shrugging off 70% of the damage as well, and they've got a big fat surround on him, so Volkmar needs to be careful. Like to see some Demigryphs head this way. Looks like a Searing Doom does come in. Unfortunately, this one misses the Swordsman as they continue to drive forward. Now, the Shadow Warriors not having a good day anymore. Empire Knights are really clattering into them. Demigryphs are hunted down a second unit, and the third unit shall be trodden under Empire hoof. At least that's what the Empire troops are hoping for, as they do continue this ragged pursuit on the right-hand side. Likewise, we still have the Jade Wizard alive. We popping a cheeky Earthblood down on the Empire Knights, as well as the Demigryph Knights, who are certainly going to be able to pit the Shadow Warriors into the Shadow Realm. At least that's what they're hoping here. But with a Plague of Rust going down, Demigryphs are actually getting dragged a little bit through the muck, and Rangers are pushing in as well. Over here, we can see Volkmar the Grim is struggling so badly up against the Demigryphs. This is just a beat-up, haggard unit. I think they've lost about 5 models now, but look at the damage done on Volkmar the Grim, taking big shots as well from Alphanar, and we're going to be cycling in even more Dragon Princes. If they can keep pinning him down and whittle his health down, it'd be certainly a good boon. His HP is going to be regenerating, of course, but if Alphanar's popping shots, it could be all over for the Empire chaps, and it looks like their cavalry is actually suffering quite badly here. They're desperately trying to shut down the Shadow Warriors, but the Rangers are nearby, dual-wielding blades like sword-wielding maniacs, charging in here, hacking and slicing at the elite Empire Warriors, who are trying their best. I really love these Lance variety, by the way. It's awesome to see them in action.
They will die!
And apparently, as long as they draw breath, the enemy shall die. I like that optimism from the Demigryphs, but alas, they have been finished off and slaughtered there. Looks like Empire Knights were able to clean up at least one unit of Shadow Warriors, which is really nice. Definitely want to chase them off the battlefield where possible. Volkmar the Grim may actually go down here, which would be a massive disaster for the Empire forces. He has a bucket ton of room for his healing cap. He has managed to eventually save up here for all his buffs to be recharged. Grand Hammer of Sigma is active. He's bringing the wrath of Sigma down upon these Dragon Princes, but Alphanar with the 360 no-scope takes down Volkmar the Grim. All I need is a couple of haggard Dragon Princes and my trusty bow, and I can take down anyone, screams Alphanar. Empire Knights charge into the Dragon Princes, who are incredibly beat up at this point, so they may be able to win this fight. It's going to come down to RNG, but it looks like the Empire Knights are being forced back here, and all of a sudden it's looking very, very tasty for the high elf player, it must be said. Now, there is still 84 swordsmen coming back. Likewise, we have 15 Demigryphs and 30 Empire Knights. So it's certainly not out of it yet, particularly if a player of the quality of Alfredino. You never really want to kind of let up if you're in the state of advantage against him. The Plague of Rust goes down on the Demigryph Knight, and then that's followed up by a couple of shots from the Shadow Warriors. That's going to be the end of them, most likely. Dragon Princes do seem to be dying nearly to a man as well, or to an elf, I should say, and they, in fact, completely go down. Do any of them even escape? Oh, it looks like they're going to flee, cower back to Imric and pray for redemption at some later point. The Jade Wizard was getting shot at by Alphanar. He's not enjoying that at all, and if he goes down, this will be really, really rough. Earthbloods will be massive in the late game. Looks like he is going to run to save his own skin, but he should come back, hopefully, at least if Alphanar can be distracted for a short time. Empire Knights are driving forward, trying to finish off the remnants of the Shadow Warriors. They should be able to do it. If a Plague of Rust comes in, maybe it's going to get a little bit sketchy. They are losing models, though, and their slow and exhausted horses do not like charging into this arrow fire. We are going to get a big fat Searing Doom come down, but the Empire Knights rather smoothly there, it must be said, do a nice little wrap around, and they are going to be able to jump on the Shadow Warriors, who do split into 2 different directions. Lovely play by the High Elf player. Need to focus down where possible. Looks like this unit of Shadow Warriors only had 2 volleys left as well, so maybe it was the wrong one to shut down with the Empire Knights. Hopefully going to be breaking them as swiftly as possible. Rangers are on the way. The Demigryphs have rallied. It looks like the swordsmen are trying to push over and shut down Alphanar. They will drag him down. He's not the best melee combatant, but he is still a lord, so I would like to see the Jade Wizard doing some cycle charging if possible. It's very risky, but I think it may end up being a bit of a necessity. Trying to juke back and forth. I love this play, trying to kind of annoy Alphanar as much as possible, who's currently popping shots into the swordsman. Balance power is in favour of the High Elves, as you'd expect. It looks like the Empire Knights with a cheeky Plague of Rust have once again been forced off. It wasn't enough to save this unit of Shadow Warriors, but they may actually come back into the action. But the others have indeed been saved. Beautiful play by the High Elf player to keep his archers in the game. And there's so many Rangers left on the battlefield, it doesn't look like it's going to be possible for a comeback. 68 and 51 models each. But you never know. I mean, the swordsmen are grinding down Alphanar here. Now, the Demigryph Knights were forced off. Alphanar stayed in guard mode and popped a few of them on arrival. Lovely rear attack from the Jade Wizard, though. And if you're on a horse, you can trample over a puny elf. I don't care how magical they are. and how awesome a warrior Alphanar is. If a horse lands on him, he's going to be feeling the pain, and beautiful cycle charger may actually drag him down here. He's not enjoying himself. Swordsman hacking at him. He has zero support here, and the Shadow King is about to be a shadow on the ground, or a shadow in history, I suppose, as he's not having the best of days here. Going for a lovely little 360 spinning anime shot into the Jade Wizard. Swordsman, okay, I thought they'd broken there. No, they're just chasing down Alphanar. And is there anything left that the Empire can muster? Because with some good healing, there is a small chance for the Swordsman. Now, we do have 14 Empire Knights. It doesn't seem like much, but it's all we've got, so they better be enough. They're going to fall back, most likely get healed up, I would assume, with the Swordsman, and then we'll have a final confrontation. So we'll fast forward this little bit here as both players just reorganise their ranks a little bit. Alphanar is chased off fully. Bounce Pass still in favour of the High Elves. They've got a tiny bit of ammunition left. Their second unit of Shadow Warriors was forced off, but here we go. So we get a lovely Earthblood come in. That's going to catch both the Empire Knights, the Jade Wizard, and the Swordsman, which is pretty key. There is a lot of Rangers nearby, though, and from my experience, Rangers tend to do pretty good up against Swordsmen, particularly if they outnumber them like this and they can get a juicy flank. So we do have a Plague of Rust go down on the Empire Knights. They do get a lovely Lancing charge into the Rangers, though, and I don't think the Empire Knights are actually the main priority probably for the Shadow Warriors. It's good to get them off the battlefield, but the 69 Swordsman is really where it's going to be at, and 69, cheeky wink there to the crowd. Jade Wizard is trying his best. Maybe if he's got a fat Dwellers on him, he would be able to nuke all this infantry, but I very much doubt it. Empire Knights still have Plague of Rust on them, but they are doing some nice cycle charging. Maybe it was a good idea to focus them down and try and get them off the field, because their cycle charging is doing some pretty decent damage. I thought they would have broken by now, but they're still fighting. And they did manage to get a cheeky Earthblood on them. Rangers have been forced back, and it looks like the Swordsmen are going toe-to-toe with the Elvish Rangers relatively effectively. We have a Wizard duel in here as well, and who is your money on? Empire Knights coming with a Lancing charge, sending the Elfcaster absolutely flying, and it looks like the Empire Knights may indeed be the difference. The Shadow Warriors weren't able to finish them off. The Rangers, though, doing a good job up against the Swordsman. The Swordsman so close to breaking here. We have some units coming back, and it is in the favour of the Elves. 25 Rangers on arrival. Empire Knights wavering but not broken. That is the key thing here. They've been fantastic in the late game. Going to be charging into the Rangers, and probably enough to break them on the charge. That's going to embolden the Empire Knights even further, and you can see their leadership going up. They shatter that unit, and then coming for a rear attack on the enemy Rangers. How wrong I was. The Empire Knights were key in the end here, rather than hunting down the Swordsman. But the Rangers are doing a decent job against the Swordsman. The Jade Wizard is about done, but it looks like the Metalcaster breaks first, and the Rangers are barely clinging on now. Empire Knights are still active. We have some Shadow Warriors rallying. The Empire fighting over the carcass of Volkmar the Grim in his name for the glory of Sigma. Faith, steel, and we didn't actually have any gunpowder here, but I guess faith, stealing horses was the actual true victor. Fantastic game, a valiant defeat there for ODM's Tretch. Played a really good game. Alfredino, though, is a certainly a Wile E. Coyote player, kind of, even when you think you've beaten him. Everything looks great. You're doing fantastic. You cannot let up even an inch. And I don't really think Tretch did. Alfredino always seems to find a way to scrap back into the game. What a game. I always love to see Tretch on the channel as well as Alfredino. I need to try and do some kind of event with the ODM boys at some point, get a live stream going with them or something would really good. Also, Saphir needs to get back on Total War because he was one of my favourite players and I haven't seen him in quite some time. And Zyphos as well. We need to get those guys on the channel. So very well played to both these lads. Really awesome game. I love the Alphanar pick. He's my favourite High Elf Lord fanatically, at least. Imrik is also really cool, although he's very stuck up, but that kind of adds to it. 2k value on Alphanar. I'm very impressed with the Dragon Prince play. Actually managing to beat down Volkmar there, who really struggled. And anytime Volkmar struggles, I'm a big fan. Sure, Demigryphs is relatively Chad to those. So two Chad gamers going at it. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to leave a big fat juicy thumbs up down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really helps push the channel and puts a big smile on my little duck face. You can leave a comment down below what you thought of the battle, what you'd like to see in the future. If you'd like to see more Warhammer 2 stuff, also let me know. There's a bucket ton of links down below to Twitch, Patreon and Discord. Massive shout out to all my Patrons as well as YouTube members who support the channel and keep us going. So until next time guys, peace, and as always, stay awesome.